Okie dokie. Well, here we are. Let's continue with the movie.
Make up a third as
And let's continue on
unscarred
with the
Wade Wilson
build.
before he became
Perhaps I'll
Deadpool.
need the
Yeah,
light
that
this
was
time. Do I need the light?
the sort of equation we
Let's
felt
find
would
out.
work best for the studio.
I might need the
And
light.
it ended up working best for the film too, which aren't
Do I
always
need
the
the
same.
light?
So
Do
I
I?
like the fact
I'm
that
not sure.
that you got out by virtue of this match. I
Yeah.
think a lot of times as a screenwriter, you're trying to
Well,
get your protagonist locked in a
Yeah.
box and then figure out how to
All right,
get them
here
out
we
in
are.
a way that's not overly
Where
obvious.
did we leave
and,
off?
And
We
we
left
planted that
off
match in the mouth of
at
Angel Dust, always with
1.4.
the intent to have it be the
So we
device
got this.
that Wade used to get out of the punch bowl. It's kind of cool.
yeah, I always love that too.
So
That was
that's pretty cool.
a nice plant payoff,
Looks good.
as you call it.
Cool. Now,
These scenes were fun. Ed Skrein is so
B14.
physically gifted and spent months and months training with fighters and all kinds of stuff, and I think it really
Where's
shows
14?
in the sequence. He's so good
there we
physically.
go.
He has this kind of simian quality, which is great.
And cue number 5. Cue. Where's Q at? Q. Oh, here it is. Number 5. Red.
Your
Okay.
penis there, that's your actual penis, yes, Ryan?
Of course it is.
So,
100%.
let's get this
My
on.
penis looks like pepperoni flatbread.
I can vouch for that.
Yeah. Kind of a terrible way to die, I would imagine.
Next,
But a
we have
great way to
this.
discover your powers.
Yeah.
Hopefully, no more distractions.
That fucking room had to be 145 degrees. I mean, it was just intense. So much fire, so much heat trapped in there. Fire marshal kept shutting us down because the interior temperature rose to such a degree that it was a huge fire hazard. So it's a long, slow day.
And this was the 25-hour day, right?
This was the
longest of your- of the
25-hour
shoot.
shooting day for me.
Okay.
And it's not as though we were shooting in an ex-munitions
see.
factory that might
This needs to be pen aligned.
Genius location manager.
So let's get
Some of
that
those sort of
going.
god-awful.
Hopefully,
Yeah, this
voice
scene
is
was
good.
originally followed by a sequence
And
in which
everything else is
Wade
good.
tested out his invulnerability
Hopefully.
by committing suicide in ridiculous ways.
Cool.
And it made us laugh. He was throwing himself out of subway cars and jumping into polar bear enclosures and
Here we
doing all kinds of self-destructive things. But ultimately, I think that for the tone, it just made more sense to keep this reasonably serious.
The tone of this movie, it was a real, juggling act in terms of bouncing in and out of darkness and humor, and if done wrong, it can be a disaster. It can feel schizophrenic and inconsistent. But I think we all managed to string together the movie in such a way that the tone really does work. It's a ride, in and out of
Mm-hmm.
fun and
All right.
tragedy and sadness. And
This goes.
Made the edit room a
with-
real roller
this
coaster ride, though. A lot of different. When you shoot a movie that has a fractured narrative like this, you can really you can compose the movie in so many different ways and so many different timelines. I mean,
Oh,
at one
look at
point we
that.
experimented with a linear timeline, which was just a disaster and a nightmare for us, because it was never, obviously, it was never written
Outlining
that way by Rhett and Paul, and
Makes it
just
look
presented a lot
better.
of problems. But
and again,
So
I think that
good.
has to do with tone. It's the origin story of Deadpool is so dark. A character who has cancer, who loses his scarring and loses his girl. I
What?
feel like
Oh, okay.
the
just
nonlinear
slide.
nature allowed us to bounce in and
Gotcha.
out of tones that created not too much darkness and over
There we
a
go.
long period of time, that you could give the audience breaks of the darkness
Let's take a look at
amongst the
that.
comedy and lightness of
Mm.
him being Deadpool.
That looks good. Got that little
Typical
bit
summer
in
day in
there.
Vancouver, British Columbia.
That little bit right there.
I'm not making her
Look
life
good
miserable
under a
anymore.
black light.
Come on, Wade. It can't be that bad.
Good shit. I'm a monster inside of me.
Let's
Belong
see.
in a fucking circus.
Wait, Vanessa loves you. She
Oh,
doesn't care what
I
you
don't turn it
oh.
on.
Do you like what you see?
Well,
You
I
could've
need new batteries for
Cut
that.
together an entire film
Anyway.
just of T.J. Miller doing alternate jokes here.
Not
Where are we?
gently, like he was hate fucking. There was something wrong with the relationship, and that was the only catharsis that they could find.
The only reason we stopped shooting the scene was because TJ eventually had to go to
AIQ and
sleep.
P. Here's Q.
We also shot the scene twice.
Yeah.
So we
This is
need
the second
Because we had to
22.
alter some key information in the middle of it. So we shot this whole scene that was working great, and then we had to
This one.
go back and do it again, and we were afraid, are we going to recapture the magic? But thanks to Ryan and TJ's comic chemistry, it worked out.
Yeah, this is a full 6 months after shooting finished.
I'm gonna work through his crew until somebody gives up Francis. Force him to fix this
We
and put a bullet in
need
his skull. Fuck the
17,
brain.
18.
I don't want to see that or think of it.
That is kind of stolen from Dan Aykroyd in Grosse Point Blank when he says
17.
that he's going to
18.
fuck the brain hole of someone, and I always love that.
A big reference point for you, Grosse Point Blank. You love that movie.
I do love Grosse Point Blank. I'm a little obsessed with it.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Like a testicle.
You will die alone. I mean, if you could
Then
die.
I
Brothers. That'll do. What you need now is a suit and a nickname.
37.
Wade the Wisecracker. Or Scared.
I don't know why dying alone makes me
37.
laugh more than any other joke in that.
I put all my money on you, and now besides, I'm never gonna win again.
37.
Captain Deadpool. No, just
Then A.
See you,
25.
Mr. Blue. Deadpool. Sounds like a fucking franchise.
Oh, I was always so uncomfortable with that line.
It gets a
Audience
laugh.
I need
though.
A.
Yep.
Okay, I
Gets a
guess.
laugh.
A.
Yep.
Where's A?
Yeah, originally this montage
It's
was,
over here.
believe it or not, just Deadpool going on
2
random
5.
kills while Ajax was waiting to get out of prison. Ajax had gone to
2
prison at the end of the workshop fight, and Deadpool was just biding his time waiting for Ajax to get out of
Yes.
prison. But somebody, I think it might have been Simon, had the bright idea to make this montage into a search
And then
for
we'll need
Ajax.
A.
So Ajax
All
doesn't
right.
go to prison, and
A.
Deadpool goes on a month to year-long search for his archenemy.
Which is why we had to fucking change that whole bar scene too.
Yeah, and it gave it some propulsive energy. I mean, you're starting
Alright.
to feel like Deadpool's got a goal here, and obviously
Yeah,
it's to
let's take
find
this
Francis.
and clean them all up.
And it's worth mentioning, Simon was really our guardian angel on this movie.
Very true.
He came aboard. Fox has immense trust in him. He's the keeper of the X universe, and he came aboard, and we
Check
were
something
off to the
really quick.
races. And we
Mainly,
were-
he just really protected the tone and the vibe of Deadpool.
Alright,
yes.
cool.
He was a huge asset to us. Amazing.
So that's
I'm on that board somewhere.
Okay.
A picture of me. I don't think it's in the movie.
The Zamboni idea was our first AD. That was his idea to shoot a kill with the Zamboni, and I love it.
Yeah.
Good Canadian joke right there.
okay.
It's just confusing. Is it sexist to hit you? Is it more sexist to not hit you? I mean, the line gets real blurry.
Stop, Francesca.
In case you were wondering what Donde Está Francesca
Jesus.
means, where is Francis?
That drives Paul insane,
I'm sorry.
and I am with him on that one. I have no idea why we subtitled that.
Agent Smith, 5550199. Ryan Reynolds.
God,
Number.
man.
Ooh, these are a little too
Rice.
So, yep. Rise to see you.
Right.
That was a joke we wanted to get in there, but we didn't. Fully loaded.
A little known fact: we spend most of our days around the house quoting the movie ourselves.
That's true.
I love
That's
that
great.
violent hit right
Violent.
there.
We did that about 6 or 7 times to make that work.
God, that was a nasty hit, though. It was practical, real.
You're looking very alive.
Ah, only on the outside.
This is not going to end well
This
for
is
me.
not going to end well for you, no. Where's your boss?
Okay.
I can tell you exactly.
Got this one.
Oh, you'll tell me. First, you might want to look away for this. Now, this little
This
piggy
one.
went to. Thank you, Agent Smith.
Alright. There are some things I just cannot get with a blade. I'm just gonna go ahead and use the cutters.
And we all know how this turned out.
There we go. Next.
Here it comes.
What do I do?
Oh, there it is.
I have that unicorn upstairs.
That's
The third
This.
film you've masturbated in, Ryan?
It is the third feature-length film that I have masturbated.
And what are the other two?
The Nines
Goes here.
and Change Up are the two other films that I've made love to myself in. I'm not proud to say.
That is an impressive
hell.
filmography of
Thank you.
masturbation.
Thank you very much. People have gotten a star on the Walk of Fame in Hollywood for less, my friend.
Seltzer water running for blood. Woo! Some kinds of anger can't be managed. Like the kind we are here long.
it always looks like that rag already has blood all over it.
I know.
Ow.
It does, doesn't it? Didn't even think about it when we were shooting it.
Just gonna pick up my bloody rag and
This.
Yeah. The one I usually grab when
yes.
I lost an appendage.
Miss cocaine.
Oh,
In the script, Blind Al was introduced a little bit earlier than this in the fractured narrative.
16 walls. She's like Robin to my Batman, except she's old.
she was so
fit.
much fun.
There
Leslie
you go.
Uggams is just such a trooper. She'll just...
Nice.
And this doesn't make her a trooper, but it makes me adore her, which is that she'll just kind of is just game for anything. We just threw her that line like, God, I miss cocaine, and she just says it without even thinking about
Oh, she's
it.
great.
This was so
Cool.
And a
wonderfully.
very talented actress.
And an incredible singer, one of the great singers.
Was in Roots, yes?
Ah, sweet.
I'm not going to go
All
there
right.
because I'm not
That
100%
looks
sure that
so good.
I
That
know
looks
she
so
sang
good.
with Frank Sinatra.
Here, let's take a
Is that
look.
She was on the Muppet Show. I know that.
I am.
Talk about the
Look
Crocs,
at
Ryan. That was
that.
the Ryan.
Oh yeah, the big rubber masturbating shoes. Yeah, the Crocs were
So
sort of an
pretty.
addition that we liked.
So
I don't know,
nice.
just to, adding as
Character,
much kind of
Looks
weird
good,
character
looks
with Deadpool as
good.
possible. I like that he had his specific
So
shoes that he
next
liked to
is
masturbate with. The IKEA is something that the boys here
up there.
had in the script for 6 years, which is I love.
So this goes here.
it's just weird, It's
Yeah.
but it's Deadpool weird, and that's why it works.
Do you not go in? What the
I
heck?
just like that they have this whole language, this whole Swedish
Yeah.
language there.
This was actually our first official day of shooting.
Okay. That goes there.
And it's interesting because
That goes.
the
Ooh, that
traditional
looks,
studio
that
note
looks
would
good.
be,
Look at that.
wait, he
Look
just
at that.
lost his arm, his girl, and the bad guy, and he's talking about IKEA.
Nice.
It doesn't work. You've got to get him back on track, and again,
Nice, pretty.
Deadpool allows
Okay.
you to break all the rules, and
So we
and-
made
and
it to
jumped
there.
at the chance.
Yeah.
Next is
I think the only rule with Deadpool is to break the rules.
B.
True.
If that makes sense.
And then
17.
we're back on point here. We're sort of saying what's
Where's
going
that?
on.
That is
But-
lavender wasabi lotion.
Lavender wasabi
17.
lotion. My unicorn wearing assless leather chaps, and the unicorn has a tiny penis, for the record.
Okay. D.
Nevin Swain.
14.
Nevin Swain, our incredible props guy. I would call Nevin in the middle of the night and say, Nevin, I need a tiny stuffed unicorn wearing assless chaps and a proportionate
Uh-huh.
penis, and he would have that for me pretty much within 12 hours.
And he would say, "Is this for the movie or your personal
One.
needs?"
And we would oftentimes the
Both.
line was blurred. Yeah,
G1.
I can't even get an erection unless I have a unicorn in the room. I don't even care who knows that, obviously, because I'm saying it in the commentary.
Great for commentary. Thank you, Ryan Reynolds, for that.
You know, it's funny. Almost missed the fucker. I like a challenge. But he's bad for business.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go find him.
Tylenol PM?
What I love about this scene is that there's a weirdly, like, sweet energy between Blind Al and Wade. In a weird way, it just kind of lets us forgive how hostile they are toward each other half the time.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's
Ooh, this
you
could be an
love this
interesting one.
woman and she loves you, and it's really as abusive as the relationship is. It's there's a real love behind it and a warmth.
Find this woman and tell her how you feel. What do I keep telling you, Mrs. Magoo? She wouldn't have me.
Here we go.
She's like the oracle here, you know.
Looks aren't
So.
everything. You ever heard David Beckham speak?
This
It's like
one
your mouth
goes
sucks a can
here.
of helium.
Not many movies where
What
the
the heck?
protagonist is played by an actor and references that same actor within the movie.
Here we go. Cool.
So you're just gonna lie there and whimper?
And in the comics, Ryan
Now.
Reynolds is referenced in the comics.
He is, yeah.
We get to detail.
In the meantime, I might want to leave the room.
Let's detail this thing.
I say that line all the time.
So the doctor says the bad news is we don't have that long to live. So the patient says, how long do I have? The doctor says 5.
This was a joke that TJ just broke out on the day, and we thought it was nice
Is it-
because it dovetailed thematically
Is
with...
it an original joke of his?
I don't.
No, I think
so.
it's just one of those classic jokes that you just hear and it gets told and
I
retold.
can never
and-
tell a joke. Like, I can't retain them for some reason. I've never been able
No,
to be that guy who just...
My dad is a great joke teller. One of the great joke tellers. Yeah, I don't have that
Such a
skill.
gift.
It is.
Here
Well,
we go.
TJ's got a bunch of them. He is a student of comedy.
He really
and
is.
the history of comedy and stand-up and
Cool.
joke telling, just everything.
So we
He's
outline
the
this
guy.
piece. Just outline all
We
of
called
it.
him
Let's go.
Benjamin Button on set because he would always button a scene with an improv joke.
Yeah.
He does it at the back end here.
Here we go. Let's see.
He does about 50 of them at the back end here, but we had to eventually run out of digital.
Okay.
Sweetheart, you might want to look around.
I don't really care if I stream to nobody. I'm gonna stream no matter what.
Who's the angel? Put the little man down.
I'll find my audience sooner or later, or they will find me.
Yeah,
Either
I mean,
one.
there's some
don't
funny
really
people
matter.
who turn it on for the camera and aren't funny in real life, and TJ's not one of those. He's funny in real life, too. And
Very funny.
Whew. Thanks for having my back, guys.
Cool.
Wait, we have a fucking problem. By we, I mean you.
Oh, I can't believe I'm doing this. Is there a word for half afraid, half angry?
Yeah, frangry, I guess. You decided we
Cool.
were gonna
We
say
got
it, or?
that. Got these.
Maybe not start with that.
And I don't want copyright claims on that one, so I'm just gonna talk over this so we can
Stanley.
get through that.
The great Stanley cameo.
Or as I like to call her, irony.
All right.
there was a thought that we needed to make Stanley's dialogue as realistic as possible. So Paul got assigned the task of talking to the real strip club MC and writing down lines that he might really say and handing them to Stanley. And
Really kind of
that was
kind of the low point of,
that was
of my
probably the low point of Paul's
screenwriting
career.
when I'm sitting across from a guy and he's saying, "Show me
Do
them
that."
big old titties."
Oh, God.
Needless to say,
Looks
Stan
good.
didn't say any of those lines.
He was game
Looks
to do it,
good.
but there was a line that he drew in terms of exactly what he'd be willing to say.
Fortunately.
Next. P number 27. If I could find number 27. There you are. Okay.
Just Ryan's face right here. Just wow.
Then
just-
Yeah, I mean, there are multiple times in the movie where I feel like that. When you first learn you have terminal cancer and you're looking at Vanessa, you could freeze frame that face and show it to anybody in the world and say, what's going on here? And they could tell you that this guy is in a horrible situation. And the same with this, the longing. You have a really wonderful ability to
38.
reveal an emotion on your face without doing much.
Talk about Ryan acting behind that, because really you're in a mask here as well. I mean, all that makeup, it's thick. There's glue. You can't really move your face as naturally as you want. Talk about what that
in that
that's
instance.
like.
In these instances, it's very helpful. I mean, you know, Bill Corso is so gifted at
So let's go ahead and
applying
trim these
prosthetic
up.
makeup isn't just, you know, throwing a mask on somebody and calling it a day. It's really like using the face that's already there and creating something else. And Bill gave me that ability to really kind of emote through that makeup. And you know, I say that he sort of, in a weird way, did half my job for me, and that's true. I mean, I would leave that makeup trailer, you know, with really half the job done already. And I'm so grateful that he was on the movie. He was my first call when I knew we were going to do this movie. When we got the green light from the studio, I called Bill Corso
not gonna
to check if he
chance
was
that.
available.
Just gonna cut
Thank
it off.
God he was.
With this.
One of the few times it was actually not raining in Vancouver that we had to create rain.
So.
I always wonder if the audience is at all genuinely surprised that it's Ajax and not you here.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I think they're ahead of us.
No.
It's our head to the back. Go get her, Tiger.
That was a sly wink to the Spider-Man line.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes back once more.
Yeah. Then.
And Bernadette Peters became the link to indicate to Wade that Vanessa was grabbed from this alley in a violent fashion.
Nope.
Wait. Let's just. Well, we can talk.
Oh, I hit that thing hard. I remember that really fucking hurt my wrist.
Oh man, such an intense scene. Such a.
I gave Tim Miller two takes of this. I said you get 2 takes, and then
Why does this keep
That's
popping
it.
out? That's not good.
Alright. Here, this is Vanessa. What? No, wait, it's Francis. He wants you to come to him. What is that?
This is a great little foreshadowing of the marketing campaign where they use those emojis
Why does it not
on
want
the
to come
billboards. I
out?
didn't realize
Deadpool,
that. Yeah.
That was all started as a text message, you know.
No, is that right?
Deadpool emoji, yeah.
Okay.
Our
Come
third
on,
movie
get out.
we've had produced, Rhett and I, and our third
There you go.
arm up, grab the gun scene around the house.
Yeah. We like the arming up scene.
Push
Yeah.
that in,
Oh,
which is good.
Hugh Jackman. I love that Hugh Jackman does appear in our movie in that regard, just because he's. I often think of Hugh Jackman as the guy that kind of ushered in the cool comic book character again, because when he created Wolverine and created
There we
that
go.
character, and
Now that
I think it just so changed the game. It was a strange thing that it
That
ushered in a whole
is
new wave
nicer.
of comic book movies that were cool again. And
It actually holds
Yeah, he's like our
nice.
spiritual godfather.
yeah, he really is. And,
It's
and such a
good, it's
sport, you know.
good.
Was such a
Alright.
huge supporter of this movie and it
Well
getting
then.
made with the studio, because he's
We can change
obviously
the
one of the
page
biggest stars
finally.
the studio works with. And I
Change the
definitely owe him
page
a
to.
debt of gratitude.
Okay, now we're on step number 2. So let's fix this.
This was
We're
Ryan's
on.
idea, this cocaine bit.
It's about 116
Here.
kilos of cocaine buried in
Wait,
an
what?
apartment right next to the cure for blindness.
Didn't I just do that?
It's this seesawing between sentiment and emotion, and then
What?
undercutting that with just
One
cynicism and cruelty.
3, 1.4.
But there's a little truth there.
That's
I think
still
Deadpool
part
does
one.
really
What?
love her and
Hold on.
wonders if he'll ever see her again, but he always has
That's
to kind
not
of
good.
undercut
Okay,
it with
how about this?
Want
Was
to
it-
get
was
fucked
it this?
up? The TV
No,
version
it's
that,
still number 6. We just did that
TJ.
Yeah,
one.
what was it? It was
Want to get felt up.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Which is
Which is
worse.
actually worse.
Number 2.
so much worse, but totally fine for
There we go. Dang.
Go on then.
There we go.
Thanks,
Number
Dick.
2.
And I mean,
Alright, so let's make this
Who are we
just a
talking
bit
to?
bigger.
You and
I've
Will.
been trying to tell
Right,
you assholes you've got the wrong girl.
right about there,
My
kinda.
old boyfriend, he's dead.
See, I thought that too. But he keeps on coming back.
That seems about right.
Or like a bad Jesus.
That was a line that
Yeah,
Red
seems
and Paul
about
had
right. Okay,
for-
cool.
as
We're
an
gonna lock
alternate there.
that
He keeps coming
in.
back like a bad Jesus, and I will always be sad that
Yep.
that's not actually in the movie for whatever reason. Got
And now,
C blocked.
This
We go
mansion is
ahead
in.
and
Where is this mansion?
It's in Vancouver.
do
in
that
Sean
part.
Sierra in Vancouver.
So,
Alien 3.
we need part D.
There's laugh. Hiding real pain. Go get silver balls.
You guys
Where
want to go out?
is
Really good special?
Oh,
part
there's something wrong
D?
with eating before sundown
It's
or
over
saving
here.
money. No, you know that bad guy that...
That's real for me, by the way.
Me
Number
too.
2.
You're gonna help me get her back.
What?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's me, Deadpool, and
Okay.
I got an offer that you can't refuse.
So let's see. Let's follow this.
Wanna wait
So
out
we
here,
need
okay?
D12,
Big house. It's funny that I only ever see two
I-42,
of you. It's almost like
G7.
the studio couldn't afford
Along
another
with
X-Men.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ryan Reynolds, the genius of Ryan Reynolds, right there.
G6,
Biggest laugh of the movie.
That one I love.
and
Just funny because it's true.
D13.
It
The
is
old
just about
funny
the
'cause it's
biggest
true.
laugh of the
Okay.
movie. It's
what else is
I
there?
sat behind Jim Giannopoulos, who's the head of Fox, when that joke
And then attach those
played.
to that.
and
Okay.
He was howling.
Is there anything
Yeah.
else?
So hard.
He's also
After that?
laughing because it's true.
True. Yeah.
I don't know what's that.
Colossus is written on that Starbucks cup. Unfortunately, you can't quite get enough of it.
No.
close to it,
Okay.
but I just
We're gonna
love
do
the
those
idea of
three.
him going into the Starbucks barista. What's your name,
12
Colossus?
and 13. 12 and 13.
That's your Scream, Ryan, yes?
Yes, that is my.
You
my
play
screen.
Bondu.
I guess I do technically play Bondu.
Okay.
Are you
Oh, I
listed in
didn't
the
even think
credits?
about
Are you
that.
listed in the credits
Are
as
you? I
Bondu?
don't know. I
13?
have no idea.
You should be.
Need
I do a couple of screams and yells for other people too.
42.
Really?
Yeah.
He started up in the front. I'm doing, as you said, DP. I've like got him
44.
like a really first and dumped his car
42.
I did not tell
Wherever
him to
the
do
heck that
Absolutely
number
not.
is.
You got lost in translation, Dopinder. This is no way to win
Ah,
Gita's heart
42
back.
and 44.
Drop Bandu off, safe and gentle.
42.
This is a very big
And
crowd pleaser
44.
to this little bit right here, Rick.
Okay. 42.
Also funny because it's true.
44.
Oh.
Cool.
I'm
Along
using
with
this high five.
For you?
G.
Okay, guys, let's get out there and make a difference.
6 and 7.
How come Deadpool's alive?
G.
We intended to
6
have
and
DMX,
7.
XCON give it to you in there from the very earliest draft of the script. We just love that song, and thankfully it made it all the way through.
And it's become the
6
anthem of the movie in
It
a
and
way.
really has.
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
used it in
God, it's
marketing and-
every commercial, and it's.
Alright,
Right,
time
And
to clean these
Chimichanga,
up.
that's our Chimichanga reference there. We had to have that in the film.
Hopefully, I don't
Yeah.
lose a piece, which I think I
And,
just did. Nope.
This third act
So we
action,
get this going.
Tim Miller did such a wonderful job of balancing
go.
budget versus action and giving us scope and scale with not a lot of money in this sequence. I mean, particularly this massive fight between Colossus and Angel Dust.
Cool. That looks good.
God damn it! I'm gonna do this the old-fashioned way. With 2 swords and maximum effort.
Alright.
Maximum effort was a
Damn.
catchphrase. Was that a comic catchphrase, or did you come up with that, Ryan?
Oh, I thought you guys came up with that. I don't know. I love
can't-
it, but
yeah,
I always thought it was you. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly, but he uses it now 3 times in the movie, I
Yep.
think.
Love it.
There we go.
What's my name?
Ooh, I'm gonna fucking spell it out for you.
Alright.
At one point, we had
You're gonna do a superhero, lad. Wait for it.
Stripes, Francis. I don't know
Yeah.
if you guys remember.
On the television,
Yep.
in the bar. I wish it was still there.
Totally impractical. They all do it. You're a lovely lady, but I'm saving myself for Francis. That's why I brought him.
I prefer not to hit a woman, so please play.
There we go. This
mean-
one.
That's why I brought her? Oh, no, finish your tweet. If that's fine, just give us a second. There you go, hashtag it.
Brianna's first feature film role, correct?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah, she was a hell of a find. And just such a great look to her as well. Love her hair. I love everything about her. She's such a nice girl too.
The X-Men unitard.
There we go.
When's the last time we saw that in a movie? Is it
Never.
ever? Never.
So-
Nobody's ever put it in as it is in the comics until now, and
This thing
I'm very proud of that. And you know, we got to
goes
thank
in
Tim for
what
that as well. Tim
what
really
direction?
was a huge supporter of, you know, canon and always kind of staying faithful to
way?
the comics. And one of the things was
What?
the X suit that she's wearing, and the other big get was both Colossus and of course Deadpool.
This way.
You know, his suit being
this
so
way?
faithful to the comics as well.
No, it's this way.
This is
Used
Gina,
to hope it's
actually, I
this
think,
way.
doing the fighting.
Oh,
As
yeah.
you know, she's
Yep.
Or is it this
MMA
way?
and a pretty badass.
It's
so.
this way.
God, that would hurt so much
Oh,
to
I
really
know.
do that.
Oh.
Every time it makes me cringe.
What the
You
heck?
can't see
Okay,
there's a
hold on.
tiny shit streak on that underwear that they never really captured on film. But
That makes
That
no
was
sense. Why
a
do
real
you?
shit
Okay.
streak, was it not?
Oh, okay. I
Tiny
see. Now it makes sense. It's supposed to look like that. It's supposed to look like that. It sits inside. Okay.
This is one of my favorite
Cool.
pieces of
All right,
action.
well, let's get
So
back on.
nasty, but so fun.
Your stunt double, Alex, tore his ACL in this.
Oh, it just
So-
exploded in this scene, and I
Let's go ahead and
felt
detail
so
this.
horrible because he blew his knee out.
I hit the
so
microphone,
I wouldn't
I'm
blow
sorry.
mine out, is how I looked at it. And but thankfully, it has a happy
So-
ending. His knee is now stronger and better than ever. We got a great doctor.
And
Why?
was back shooting.
Back shooting our reshoots, you know, he was already back doing stunts for that. It's actually right here. That's where he blew his knee out. On that lead, it looks like nothing, but yeah,
Such a great guy.
yeah, big, huge Deadpool fan from the Ukraine, and he's been a Deadpool fan for 15 years or so. He's
Sure. That's...
That is not Gina.
Wow,
Actually.
that's
one would hope not.
really.
There's that.
Well, that's amazingly stupid.
This always felt very Deadpool to us that we could stop right in the middle of a massive action scene and have a very personal connection moment
Yeah.
here. As ridiculous as it is.
All right.
How are the kids? Good? Gail, she still thinks that tuna casserole is so good. Oh, but bad for the waistline.
This one here. Here.
Oh, you're on the left. You're beautiful.
That is so sweet. Thanks.
You know, when you're building a cast, you do try to anticipate the interaction between characters, and one of the reasons we chose Colossus is because he is a goody two shoes. He is a bit of a prude. There's the name and the name and bodies, which was
One guy with his pants down. That's overlooked a lot.
but you know, because Colossus is such a straight arrow, it makes him all the more fun opposite Deadpool, who is a lunatic.
There we go.
He becomes a little bit of Spider-Man here.
Yeah, it's a little Spider-Man. Yeah, that jump was a little. I pushed it a little bit.
I love the girlish screams.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah.
It's just not enough for him to scream. He's got to
Deadpool's
scream
not
like
a
a
manly
10-year-old
man.
girl.
He's he is part 10-year-old girl.
That was filmed on a. What do they call
A
that?
gimbal.
A gimbal.
Yeah, it's a giant sort of floating platform that rotates and rocks via remote control.
Yeah, and then ultimately tilts, which gave us
This
our,
goes here.
you know, careening flight deck look.
We cut that out, but this guy grabs my leg on the ground, and I say, "Your plan to trip me to death has failed," and then I break his neck, and crush him.
Red really is my color. Don't worry, baby. I'm gonna get you out of that shit box.
What better way to prove that?
There we go.
Oh, you never laugh.
But you did, asshole!
And this goes here. Why does it not? There we go.
Well, I hope they've locked pain to your every last nerve. Cause I'ma go looking.
Hey, you grow back body parts now, Wade.
Cool.
When I'm finished, parts will have to grow back you.
Good one.
Ah.
Yep, that's a good one.
Let's dance.
It was like an impromptu fourth wall break. I don't know if that was ever meant to be a fourth wall break until.
Ooh, that's a loud
Makes me
snap.
laugh. I say,
it there.
and again, another one I say around
Damn,
the
look at
house.
that.
Good one.
We
Nice,
call
nice.
Ryan the elevator because he elevates every single thing he's in.
Now you're just being
No,
sweet to me. Come on.
I'm serious. It's,
So what was that?
you don't.
We work. I'll say that us three work together very, very, very well, and I hope we get to work together till we're all very, very old and grayer. Both Rhett and I are already getting gray, whereas
Oh,
Paul is
come on. I'm just gray as can be.
Die job.
totally.
That's
100%.
fine. You know what?
The music that's about to kick in here was originally John Denver.
I'm just gonna
It
say.
sure was, wasn't it?
Rhett,
I
Rhett
do
was
love
a
the John Denver song.
massive John Denver fan, or is a massive John Denver fan.
course, still am.
Because
Still is.
It's one of the few times though we've had to change music for the
So
film
I got
that I
a
thought we actually improved
notification on
When
Yeah.
Facebook
Chicago
saying
took its
Disney
place, I'm also a
Enterprises
huge
has
Chicago
blocked my
fan, so
video
it
because
felt
it
like
may
a lateral move to
contain
me, but
Well,
content they own.
Rhett's an easy listener.
I'm trying not to do that, have
But
that
how hard-
happen.
it is
So you know
hard.
what?
It's hard to pick
On
the music for
Facebook,
Deadpool because it has
this
to be
video is
ironic,
finished at
but it still has
36
to be
minutes.
good and emotional, and it's so you're not really picking songs that are sort of one-hit wonder sucky songs. You're
But
picking
I'm
songs
still
that are
recording.
slightly legendary, but also
So,
slightly ironic.
still
so
recording?
It's got a weird tone.
Yeah.
Not
That's
gonna
tough
stop
picking
streaming, but
songs.
I'm still gonna record. Well, I'll stop streaming. But I'm still recording.
Yeah, but also easy to pick the songs in a way
So it's
too
all good,
because it's so
right?
freeing. You can think of
I
any
don't
genre
care.
if it works.
But when
for the
you
moment.
hear one
Facebook
that
took it
works, you
down,
know
I
it
don't
works
give
right
a
away.
shit, I'm
whereas
still
that's-
gonna
we always
upload
knew,
it, I
we
don't
have some
care.
weird ones.
I'm gonna put it on
Tim
my
had this idea of
YouTube
putting
page,
these,
so it's fine.
animated cartoon
Yeah.
I'll
characters
also
in
put it on my Twitch,
really,
which is also fine.
bizarre and fucked up, but awesome.
But yeah,
at the same
that's-
time.
Yeah.
In this
If that's what
particular
happens, that's how it goes. So, recording's still going on.
scene. Again, here's our love story, and then
Let's
undercut with
continue, because I don't care. We're on step
I always
2
enjoy
point
that
something.
This is a great
So we're
example
on
of sound
step
mixing you're going to see here. Where we just
2.2.
pump this song up right when we need it. Here,
Here
it's just
we
gonna
go.
pop.
So,
You know, just a little
need-
visual effect of the blood popping out there. Tim is such a VFX maestro. You know, he
Yeah.
owns a VFX company here in Los Angeles, and it's just really how he got his start, and it's just brilliant at it. And you can see it in this entire third act.
Weirdly, that you can't
Okay.
do that little thing in a PG-13
Here's
movie. That's just one of the billion things that we were able to do with this movie as a rated R
Here's
film that we
Q.
couldn't have done otherwise.
Yeah, we really do owe thanks to Jim
G.
Giannopoulos and Stacey Snyder and Emma
We
Watts
don't need
for
G.
allowing us to do this art.
Okay.
There's obviously a glass ceiling on box office grosses. You make a lot less with an R-rated movie than you do with a PG-13 movie, and they were willing to
Clean up there a little
sacrifice
bit.
those hard dollars
We need an I.
for this crazy creative experience, and
We don't
should
need
really
I.
thank them for that.
Okay.
And we also, I personally
D.
throw them under the bus all the time
Nope.
as a joke in the media when
B.
we're talking about Deadpool, but
Nope.
the real story is that they were 100% supportive of this
S.
film being an R-rated film.
Definitely no. H.
100% supportive of sacrificing, like you said,
We need an H.
a huge amount of money to deliver
No.
an authentic Deadpool that the fans deserve.
Alright, let's go down the list. K2.
You know that this
Nope.
movie is many things, and
Okay.
it's an
M.
apple amongst oranges.
No.
You know, there's an oversaturation of
Okay.
superhero movies
L,
out there,
don't
and
need.
this is unlike all of them because it is
oh.
R and it does break all the rules.
Nope. Wow, what the heck?
We were lucky though, you know. This movie could have been made 6 years ago, and I don't know that it would be as effective, just given the fact that
Yay, you found one.
we're in a climate of just extraordinary saturation in superhero movies, and we're at that intersection where it's kind of, you know, we're ready for something a little bit different.
Don't need J.
Big styrofoam.
Okay. How about F?
Stone.
Yes, we need F. Okay. How about E? No E.
That torture device has a 5-star safety rating, as you can see.
K2.
Surviving that fall.
Yeah, that would never protect.
C.
This is the movie.
Yep, we need C.
Yes, it is.
What is this? R. No R. Okay, this one. N. Don't need N.
I did not perform this stuff.
What happened to the
I would
F?
like everyone to
I
know.
know there's an F.
Oh, but Adrian
Okay.
did, one of my stunt doubles.
How about Q?
Ably.
Yeah, there's Q.
I did this though. I do enjoy punching.
Snap.
Okay. So I guess that's all
and
good.
Snap.
Okay, now all parts are here. So let's finish this. F12.
Not as uncomfortable as it looks. This is an entirely
F.
foam set. You
Yeah.
can practically jump up and down on it like a bed.
Yeah, it was sort of fun in a weird way. Getting to one of those
12. Here we go.
gyms that's like for kids where you get to just run around and jump on anything.
You mean to say
Okay.
after all this,
And then 11.
you can't fix me?
I love the Colossus has a speech coming up about
11.
4 or 5 moments that define a hero, and this is something that Rhett and Paul wrote that it's one of the great things about this, I think, about this sequence, which is that it really resonates. It's actually could work very well in any kind of superhero movie and stand on its own as a dramatic and beautiful moving speech,
13, 14.
which of course we undercut with extraordinary violence.
Yeah, and we worked on the timing quite a bit. We didn't
13,
we didn't want
14.
the audience to get ahead of the gunshot and expect it coming, but we kind of wanted them to get ahead of it just a touch, so they were
little bit,
wincing,
yeah.
going, "You don't think he's about to possibly?"
And seeing it with an audience, they do. You can see them anticipating the shot and still
Yeah,
waiting for it and wanting
they start
it.
tittering,
Yeah.
you know, about
Really matter. Moments when you're offered
13, 14.
to make a sacrifice, conquer a flaw, save a friend.
13, 14.
About here they start to sort
Yeah.
of figure it out.
Everything else falls away.
What Colossus is what about? What was it? $50,000.
Alright, we're doing
What was
2.4
this?
It was something
first.
great. I was like, so much of our budget went to creating Colossus, but worth every penny.
Every penny.
Stuck with a pepperoni
Clean this
flatbread,
up.
but at least fuckface won't heal from that. It's wearing superhero tights. Being sparing psychopaths, and maybe I wasn't meant to wear them. Not everyone modern is a haul like you.
Just promise.
Yeah, I'll be on the lookout for the next 4 movies.
Cool.
So if you'll excuse me, I'm just a boy.
What movie is that from? What movie are we referencing?
That
is
is-
Notting Hill?
It's
maybe Notting Hill.
I
Big.
think it's Notting Hill.
Notting
that
Hill
off.
or the other one, the
It's
other British
Julia
one.
Roberts. I thought I'm just a girl.
I
about
think
to
it is
It
Notting
is.
sing
Hill.
in front of a boy.
Start talking.
Sorry.
Maybe
I'm so sorry. For everything. I'm sorry for
I'll
leaving.
stream on Twitch.
I'm sorry for not cowboying sooner.
Maybe.
I just love this scene so much. It's just Ryan
You
and
can hear-
Marina
So
just
great.
act the fuck out of this scene right here.
Every
It's
now and then you can catch the dated references, but Cowboying Up was in reference to the Boston Red Sox cowboying up against the Yankees.
I didn't know that, really?
Yeah, many years ago, and it's just, you just go, oh yeah, we really did write this script a long time ago.
But again, we're back to the beating heart of the movie. You know, the love story, the love story between these two broken souls. You know,
I do like this sequence.
and the
I'm
look.
not sure everybody understood that it was kind of a callback to their first meeting. talking
It seems
about
like they
their dire
catch on.
circumstances.
Yeah, they catch on as the scene goes, but with the big for a little bit there,
let's
they don't
see.
quite get what's going on.
I think the movie's almost finished. Almost. Almost finished. Movie, not this. I gotta find another movie to play.
Yeah, and we always thought that the Hugh Jackman mask under the
Or I
other
could just go
mask
back to playing
once again
Harris
undercut
Heller.
emotion with comedy and hopefully
Stream
That was,
Beats.
that was a fun phone call to Hugh.
I could do that.
Here's what we're thinking.
Here's what we had in mind.
How do you feel about me stapling your face to my face?
And a little bit of a cheat here because that was supposed to be, if you do the math right, that was supposed to be cut out from the People magazine.
Yeah.
But it's too big.
Sexiest man, but it's too big, obviously.
To fit my giant head is what you're really trying to say. My head is huge. Like an orange on a toothpick, to quote Mike Myers.
Go.
Marina did a great job here because she had to take the character from very skeptical and cynical back to
this
full-on commitment in about 2 minutes, and she did a nice job of it.
This. And I should outline this before anything else.
When I read that,
Yeah, we're gonna outline that.
I read it, I'm like, they're never making this movie.
But first things first, take a drink.
It hung in there for 6 years. It never got taken out.
Never changed. No. That's probably why the movie wasn't made for 6 years.
That line.
Ooh, alright. So, I'm gonna pause it right here. Or I'm gonna end it right here. And then I'm gonna try a different type of background audio.
Yeah, Paul wrote the funniest
and
coda
hopefully
ever
Facebook
where
won't be an
Beast-
asshole and
Deadpool
turn it
literally
off.
catches Beast
Let
shitting on his
people
lawn.
know what a coda is first. Just,
Yes,
I don't know if
that's
everybody
the scene at the
We're gonna
very
do
end, after the credits. And
In the meantime,
Paul just had this zany idea of what if we actually catch Beast
looks
shitting on
good.
Deadpool's lawn and running off, and Deadpool chasing him, angrily holding his morning newspaper. And
Nicholas
it was
Holt
so
was game.
funny.
He was game. He
Yeah,
loved
we just
it.
couldn't
He
make the
was all over
schedule
it.
work.
Looks good.
At the moment, all been
Alright, we're gonna stop it here and I'm gonna resume part 2.
Pouring rain at